Greetings, welcome, and thank you for clicking. I'm Christian of Standing Stones Healing, and in this video, I'm sharing with you how to create awesome distant Reiki sessions. So we know that Reiki is powerful, Reiki is helpful, and distance Reiki is also powerful and helpful. But you may be asking yourself, how do I even offer a distance Reiki session? And how do I offer distance Reiki sessions that are going to be powerful and impactful for my clients, family, friends, whomever I might offer distance sessions for? Well, I've got some real keys, some real tips for you on creating powerful, impactful, and helpful distant Reiki sessions. The first thing I want to encourage you with on your distance sessions, to have powerful distant Reiki sessions, is to make the scheduling process easy for your clients. Whatever that might look like, the easier it is to schedule with you, the more convenient it is, the better. Not just for the client, but for you as well. So when you can make the scheduling process simple, when you can decrease or even eliminate the back and forth, what time works for you? I don't know what time works for you. That's going to help to ease the experience and to create a more impactful experience for the client. It's also just going to make your life easier as the practitioner. Now, there are an abundance of ways that you can make that process simple and simplified. One way that I do it, well, the way that I do it right now and have done it, is to have automatic scheduling software set up where the client is able to go in, book and schedule their own time, even pay, all with a few clicks, get onto my schedule, get the Zoom link, and there you have it. So I personally use Calendly and Zoom for scheduling and collecting payments and for offering the sessions. And so that is a great way for you to be able to easily get people scheduled. So rather than having to go back and forth on, hey, what time works for you? Let me check my schedule. Oh, what time works for you? Well, that did work, but now someone else has booked since we've been going back and forth. No more worrying about that. Simplifying that process is going to help to create a better experience for the client and for you, the practitioner, even before the session starts. And so actually one of the keys to having impactful distance sessions happens before the session even starts, where it's in that scheduling process. It's also in that customer service aspect as well, where you are answering any questions, being responsive, and being helpful if necessary. And so the impact of your distance sessions starts indeed before the session even begins. Some distance practitioners like to have sessions where they are not a live session, where they schedule a time and the person, the client, maybe sits or lies down or even goes on about their business during the scheduled time, and the practitioner, the Reiki practitioner, sends Reiki to the client during that specific time. So let's say they schedule for 4 o'clock on a Sunday. Well, you as the practitioner are then sending Reiki to them at 4 o'clock on Sunday, but it is not live. You are not interacting. Reiki will work in these scenarios. So Reiki is still doing its thing. But I have to say that as someone who has received Reiki in this way, that it is actually, and also as a practitioner who has sent it in this way to clients, I can say that I believe it is more impactful to have a live session with a client. There are a couple of reasons for this. Number one, you're able to set that time aside specifically for that client, and the client is honored in that way with your undivided attention at that specific time live. It also shows a level of attention on the client's part to set aside that specific time for their healing and to show up. So rather than simply laying down on their couch or sitting down on their meditation cushion or however they might receive Reiki during that time, they are there, they are showing up live, and they are showing a level of commitment to their own growth and healing. And so I do believe that while sessions where Reiki is sent and you are not present in the moment live with the client are still very effective and impactful, I'll be honest, I believe that it is more impactful to be live, one-on-one, well, even in a group as well, but to be live with a client. So I do encourage that. So number one, easing that scheduling process and making it simple. Number two, having a live session with the client, whether over Zoom, Facebook Messenger, Skype, however you might like to offer that session. I have personally also had powerful distance sessions over the phone with clients. And so that is another way to do it where you don't even need a screen, but you can interact with the client live. Number three way to have a powerful distant healing session with your clients or friends, family, whoever you might be offering them for, is to have a chat beforehand in which you explain the process, you explain what to expect. Now you can see me do this in the recordings of my distant Reiki healing ceremonies. I'll drop a link in the comments below where you can check out one of those sessions. And this is really exactly how I offer live distance sessions with clients. And I will explain the process beforehand. This is especially important for someone who is a brand new client of yours, or even more important, brand new to Reiki. Either way, I encourage having a chat right up front and including in that chat your process, what's going to happen, what the client can expect for your time together. You can think of your time together as a container, as a self-contained event or experience. And you, as the practitioner, are leading that event. You are leading that experience. And any good event will have an explanation at the beginning of it to say, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to cover, this is how the event is going to roll out. When we can create expectation for clients, we empower them. When we can explain to clients, this is what we're going to do, this is how things are going to unfold, this is what you can expect, we are giving them control and power. They know what's going to happen, they know what's coming up, and they can feel empowered. They're not going into a session saying, what's happening next? Oh, there's music playing. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, wait, the practitioner is talking to me. Oh, I've never had that happen before. That's weird during a session. I am not expecting that. If you're the kind of practitioner who talks to a client during the session, you can tell them that at the beginning of the session to help them know what to expect. That's going to put their mind at ease. It's going to help them to know that when you start talking to them and saying, okay, I'm getting this image, I'm feeling this sensation, they're not going to be, well, I was going to say they're not going to be weirded out by it. Who knows? They might still be weirded out. We can be weirded out by things that we expect, but they know to expect it so that when it happens, they know that it's part of the process. Always be clear and upfront with your clients about the process so that they know what to expect. They know what's going to happen, and they feel some sense of control and are therefore empowered during the session because they know how it's going to roll out. They know what to expect. So always take that time at the beginning of this session to explain what's going to happen during the session. Now, when I have returning clients, I will also remind them of it, particularly if it's been some time since we've met. I'll just give them a brief, hey, you know, this is what to expect, so that they know what will happen, and their mind will be at ease. So even if it's a client I've seen before, and especially if it's been some time, I'll give them a brief, okay, hey, remember, this is how it works for our time together. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. We're off. Next tip. I also encourage you at that beginning of the session to have a chat with your client. This is going to allow the client to feel heard and acknowledged, honored, and respected. Now, this, of course, is important for in-person sessions as well, but definitely for distance sessions, I actually encourage this even more because you are not physically present with the person and not able to pick up on physical cues as easily as if you are in person. You know, sensing their energy, seeing them, feeling their energy. When you are with a person distance, whether it's on Zoom, on the phone, whatever it might be, it might not be as easy to pick up on their energy, their experience. And so when we can have a little chat with them beforehand, we can really get a sense of where they are coming from, where they're at, what their concerns are, and to make a connection with them. Connection is so very important. And it's important also when we have distance sessions and when we are meeting with clients distantly. We want to create a connection with them, to connect with them as human beings. And so I encourage having a little chat beforehand, you know, asking them how specifically you can help them, what they're searching for with the session. You know, when I have someone book with me, I will ask a question like, what are you scheduling the appointment for? Now, I don't ask it in that way, but whatever they say gives me an opportunity to say, oh, so I understand that you are fill in the blank. So let's say that the client is coming in for a session because they are wanting to change their job and they're looking for support and Reiki to assist them in that. I will say, so I understand that you are looking to change careers right now and you would like a Reiki session to help you get moving in that way. Would you like to tell me a little bit more about that? And boom, we can start having a conversation and connecting. This also gives me a better idea of exactly how I can tailor the experience and specifically help them on their journey. So having a connection, talking with them, and asking some questions right up front to get the client talking, opening up and creating a connection is going to help them to feel seen and heard and understood. And it's also going to help you to better serve the client. As you are sending Reiki, of course, do this in the way you do your thing. I encourage you to allow the client to choose whether they have their camera on or off, whether they are muted or unmuted, depending upon the way in which you are meeting with the client. But the encouragement here is to allow the client to have some choice and allow the client to have agency and control. And so that means if they want to have their screen off and muted, if they want to be muted, okay, not a problem at all. So allow the client to have choice in that and honor that choice. You know, the session is ultimately all about the client. The session is not about you. It's about the client. And so what matters is helping the client to, again, feel seen and heard and understood. Also to help the client feel in control and empowered. And we can do that in so many ways, including allowing them to have their screen on or off, to lie down, to sit, to face the screen if they want to, close their eyes, whatever resonates with them. Allowing choice in the session for the client is very important. Of course, this is important in in-person sessions as well, but also for sure with distance sessions. And there are so many ways to do this. Everything from the simple screen on or off, muted, unmuted, to music or no music, choosing the kind of music. So many different ways. So I encourage you to consider the ways in which, in even the small ways, in which you can give power to your client during the session to help them feel respected and empowered and in control. Now here's a tip on music. If you do use music in your distance sessions, which I actually personally do recommend, I think it helps to reinforce that container of the session. But when you're using Zoom, you know how when you use Zoom and you play music over Zoom and the music's all like garbled and it sounds weird and it just doesn't sound right? You can change the settings in Zoom so that the music does not sound weird. So if you are playing the music, there are a couple of things that you can do. You can, of course, invite the client to play their own music of their own choosing as you send Reiki. But if you are playing the music, there are two things you can do to make the music not sound so weird and funny. Number one, you can select the setting to share the music of your computer. So you can share the computer sound in the settings on Zoom. This will make it not sound weird. Number two, you can also change the sound settings so that you turn on original sound. It is a little setting at the top left of the screen on Zoom where it says original sound. This is also called original sound for musicians. That is automatically off on Zoom, but if you turn that on, it will not make the sound weird. Now, the way that I play music for my distance sessions is that I will play the music through my phone. It's very easy for me to just grab my phone, turn it on, turn it off, rather than trying to fiddle with the computer and turn things on and turn things off. It's just a quick and easy boom boom on my phone. And so I will play the music through my phone while I have original sound turned on my Zoom settings. This takes care of the weird garbled sound on Zoom. Last 2 tips for awesome distance sessions. Number 1, make sure that you have some kind of closing to the session. So remember, the session is an event. It's a self-contained experience. You want to have some way to wrap that up and close it up. The way that I like to do this is that after sending Reiki, I'll offer any messages that I might receive from Spirit for the client. Of course, there's no requirement to receive messages. Sometimes there are more than others. You know, there's, of course, no pressure to offer messages to clients. So know that you don't have to do that. But I'll offer those messages. I'll offer the client to share anything that may have come up for them, answer any questions that they have. I'll pull a couple of cards. I'm a card reader as well, and I'll pull a couple of cards. But one way that I like to close sessions after all of those things and having a chat with the client as well is to simply ask them, is there anything else I can do for you today? Is there any other way that I can help you? This is going to offer the space for them to ask any other questions that they might have. Or, you know, sometimes there are questions that they have, but they forget, they can't think of them. This just offers an opportunity to say, hey, you know, I'm here for you. I want to support you. Is there anything else I can do for you? And so that allows then again the client to know that they are heard, they are respected, they are valued, and that you want to help them. I'm assuming that you are a Reiki practitioner because you want to help. I probably am right on that. But this just allows a final opportunity for you to address anything, any of their needs, and to offer support in any way that they might need in that moment. So I like to ask a final question like that. Is there anything else that I can do for you today? And then when the no is no, then there you go. And that is the end of the session. And I tell them one final thing, and this is my final tip for powerful distance sessions. I let them know that they're going to receive a follow-up email. And so automatically my system sends a follow-up email. And this is one of the great benefits of using an automatic scheduling system like a Calendly, is that you can send an automatic follow-up email. So again, remember, letting them know what to expect. I let them know that they're going to receive a follow-up thank you email, and that in that email is an opportunity to leave a review if they so wish, but that they will receive that in the next day. And finally, to also let them know that they're welcome to reach out to me with any questions, concerns, or anything else that they might need. Now, as part of this closing, you may also want to encourage the client with any next steps, like drinking more water, or if anything came up that you're encouraging them to do, reminding them of that. For me personally, I also like to reach out to clients individually after a few days, even after that, or in addition to that follow-up email, is to give it a few days, even a week, and then follow up with a quick email or a quick message. Hey, had a really great time meeting with you last week. Thank you again for the honor of sending you Reiki. Did you have any questions that came up? I just want to check in, just like to check in after a session and see how things are going. Boom, there you go. And so you can even offer them that to let them know, I'll follow up with you in another week to see how you are doing. That reinforces your level of care and concern for the client, letting them know that they're supported on their healing journey, letting them know that indeed you really are there for them, and giving them another opportunity to offer anything that came up for them or to ask any questions that maybe they hadn't thought of before. So there you have it, lots of tips for having powerful, distant Reiki sessions.